Only talk to me when you need me. You here right now cause it's easy. But when I'm down, are you gonna leave me? Gonna leave me? Free me? When I told a dream, you ain't believe me. It just got me wondering like Stevie. When I'm down, are you gonna leave me? Gonna leave me? Everybody tend to say, remember me when you made, yeah. I can't even lie, I'm waiting for you to slide when you get what you chasing. Are you riding? No more hiding. Look inside and tell me, are you trying? You've been silent, and I've been feeling like I'm alone on this island. Oh, you need me. Only talk to me when you need me. Here right now, cause it's easy.
Welcome back to another episode of the Randy Wilson Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Wilson. This is episode 86. We climbing up the ladder now. We're almost at 100. And we have a phenomenal guest today with us by the name of Aaron Cole, who has a new project out, Two Up, Two Down, Bristol, Virginia native. We're going to get into him here in a minute. But before we do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell somebody to tell somebody. Appreciate you guys for helping me get over 1,000 subscribers. Very appreciative, and let's keep the journey going. Aaron Cole, this is a very interesting podcast for me because as I was sharing with the young man before the show, I used to mentor and counsel his uncles to some degree. I seen him as a young man growing up when I was in college. I kind of seen, as I listened to his music and I've observed the journey through the internet, I kind of have these distant memories of what I saw, and it's just kind of a surreal situation. Aaron Cole, new project, Two Up, Two Down, Bristol, Virginia native, Christian hip hop artist, songwriter, and we're going to get into that because we're going to talk about his music. I'm curious of what his influences are. When you listen to this young man, there's definitely a message with his music, but his music is so cool. Like, he's changed. The perception of Christian hip hop music is no longer what it used to be. And I share that with you guys that's listening to the show, who's familiar with my podcast, because once you go check out Aaron Cole's music, if you're not familiar with him, he might create a hybrid of things. He may influence you to want to come over and work with him, or you may be begging to figure out a way how he can work with you, because this brother got talent. Signed to Gotee Records. TobyMac helped found this young man. And for those of you who are not familiar with TobyMac, I don't know where you're hiding at. Go look. Started singing at the age of 4 years old. He was inducted into the Rapzilla freshman class of 2016. Also recognized in Essence magazine as the top 16 gospel artists to pay attention. And I mean, man, he's, before if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but before you were officially signed, you'd already put out 6 independent records, 6 independent projects. And now you're on your sophomore project under the label. And it looks like the sky's the limit for you, man. Single off the project, Leave Me, featuring J Moss. It's one of my favorite, quite frankly. I can imagine that was probably a surreal moment for you there. So yeah, man, just really excited to get into the conversation with you, man. Learn a little bit about you. This podcast is based out of Richmond, Virginia, but we cover the whole state and beyond. And it's really good to have you. We know you coming this way in November. I think it's the 9th or the 11th. You'll be on tour here. So we're going to make sure that we push this content to influence the 14th, November 14th. Richmond, he will be here. So hopefully you'll see this show before then. Make sure you check out Aaron Cole. You can learn more about Aaron Cole at www.iamaaroncole.com. You can go check out his Instagram as well. The young man just got married.
Yes, sir.
And so, yeah, man, it was like just blessings coming your way, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, bro. It's dope to be on here. I think I first saw you on Clubhouse or something like that. It was like I was kind of when Clubhouse was popping, when
Yeah.
Clubhouse was a thing, you know what I'm saying, hopping into different Virginia rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is crazy that you like.
That is interesting. I didn't know that's where you found me at, you know, because we was definitely buzzing a lot of Clubhouse rooms for a minute, trying to make Virginia great again. I think it was one of the rooms. And you know what was interesting, Aaron, is that I've lived all over the state of Virginia now, considering that I used to live in Bristol, Johnson City area. I went to Emory and Henry College, so I was in that area.
Yeah.
But I've been in Richmond now for a long time, and been Northern Virginia, Hampton Roads. I've seen every part of Virginia, and a lot of times, most of the time, quite frankly, Southwest Virginia is overlooked when it comes to the music scene. But you have definitely, you definitely put Bristol on the map. You definitely did your part. And, just kind of piggybacking off that, since we were talking about Clubhouse, like, you rep Virginia hard, obviously, 2 Up, 2 Down is the name that you've led with on this project. Do you ever feel like Bristol gets kind of lost, or do you ever, how do you feel about that?
And I wouldn't say that it's totally like Virginia's fault or the world's fault. I think Bristol, because not a lot of people have came out of Bristol and done a lot of things. A lot of the kids and stuff like that are just now starting to believe that they can do stuff and make it out of the city. Like, I know when I was growing up in high school, like people that I was going to high school with wasn't really talking about nothing unless, they was the regular white kids that was going to go to school and be a doctor, be a lawyer. But if they was Black, it was like, man, they just trying to make it out of high school, get a, get a diploma, whatever. And really just do the same stuff, like just be in Bristol. Like, a lot of the guys that I went to high school with are kind of just still in Bristol doing the same stuff. So I think it took, somebody like me, somebody like Justin Grimm, who's from Bristol, Virginia, went to Virginia High, played for the Cubs and stuff like that. Like, I feel like we the 2 people that came out of Bristol. That's kind of like inspiring that, because now I'm seeing more people, like when I come back to the city, like it feels like it's almost a thing of they're inspired and they know that they can do certain stuff, because I feel like it wasn't that before. And so I'm happy to play a part in that, because it's like, it's kind of sad to see like a lot of people with talent just be in the city just doing whatever.
You definitely made an example. And I remember Justin. I remember baseball player.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he played for the Cubs though. So I remember though he was a hell of an athlete.
Won a World Series with him.
Wow.
16. Yeah.
Wow.
Going crazy.
There's definitely some athletes that came through Bristol. I remember just hanging out at the Boys and Girls Club, and shout out to Bristol first and foremost, because Bristol, listen, I had a lot of fun in Bristol. There's a lot of people who will watch this show because of you, and then it'll kind of stir back the time when I was there. And shout out to the Boys and Girls Club. I got some kids out there that there's a couple kids, man. When I was coming through the club, I had a couple kids. There was a Dayron, I forget Dayron's last name, and the Tilly, what's his name?
Oh,
CJ and Mark Arzu, and man, there was just some kids. David Burke, I think. There was just some kids I had, Christine Foote, Tasha Pendle. Like, I got nothing but love for Bristol, man. They
CJ was like my Uncle Chad's like best friend. So like, I remember always being with CJ.
And of course, Chetwin and Kendall Pete. I mean, like I said, that's how I know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They the ones that made me who I am. So Kendall on the singing side, like I learned the singing side from Kendall, and Chat on the writing and hip hop side. Like that's who instilled in me. So, and we're gonna get into that.
Because I'm curious of where you favor more or less. Because for those who are listening, like, I mean, he does. I'm curious of who he's influenced by, because I've been telling people he's like the gospel Drake. I mean, I don't know if I should say that or not. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I look at Drake. He can rap and sing. Is Drake an influence to you in any way?
For sure. I would say for sure. I think we have similar voice tones. So a lot of people like you know what I'm saying, compare us a lot, which is cool. Like, I don't run from that. Like, you can definitely tell in Drake's early music, he was influenced by Kanye. So it's like, I don't run from it. I think I get upset when it's like they try to like scrutinize me because of it. But like, if you just like, man, he kind of got a Drake vibe, like I'm
Man,
cool.
yeah. Listen, Drake is the well, I think he's the artist or entertainer of the decade. I don't know who it was. Like, you know, people gonna hate on Drake because he light skinned, he got good hair, and he got it all. He love the women love him. They're gonna hate on him, but you can't hate on the music. The music is great, and your music is great. And I mean, I've watched every music video on YouTube of you. Okay, I've checked. I've went in deep, and I've seen the progression and evolution of you as an artist.
Yeah.
I find you quite unique because I'm a fan of music first.
Right.
Hip hop, rap second, probably, right?
Okay.
And you do both of them very well. Which one do you have a preference in which one?
Yeah. I think they're both like, it's both like it's like I have two childs. So it's like I literally see myself, I have modes. Like I'm in a mode now of like, okay, I just want to make fire music. Like I don't care about bars or nothing like that. But then I just get this ego like, man, they sleep on my bars. So I just do like 10, 20 bar song, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think people can sleep on your bars, man. I really don't. And I'm extremely critical of music. Got some rappers out here right now that's extremely mad at me and probably gonna need to have to hire security soon. I don't think people can sleep on your bars. I think that and I say that because I hear the message in your music, but you know, I think gospel music has changed.
Yeah,
so much. I mean, listen, when I was your age, gospel music was not cool.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is this: the artists who were doing gospel music, gospel hip hop, excuse me, let me make it right.
Right.
The artist that was doing gospel rap music when I was your age.
Right.
And I've said this before, and it may sound harsh, but a lot of times they couldn't really compete at the lunchroom table with the artists who weren't doing gospel music. So it was almost like you're cool because you can only be cool in this spot because you're like you're trying to break through to the church. Like they really they're trying to get through. The church ain't really trying to let you rap.
Yeah.
You know, they say you trying to live right. They see you trying. So but y'all they wasn't good. Now it's different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
And I'm definitely trying to change it. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I was in those clubhouse things, like I would definitely say I'm a Christian artist or whatever, but like I would try to play my music first, because I know if they just hear the music, like they're not even tripping on that, because we got Chance now, we got Kanye now, like they really like paving the way, you know what I'm saying? In that, and I don't know if you know Lecrae, but he's paving the way too. So yeah, man, I'm dope. I'm excited for like where music is right now. And I just kind of want to continue to grow and continue to, you know, grow where I'm at in music, my platform, all that stuff, because like you was talking about before, like I just kind of want to help people. Like there's definitely a lot of people from Bristol, like people that I know, that I just want to be in a position where I can help. Like if I can put a dude on a show like at this point or this genre, like I want to be able to do that. And so I still got a lot of work to do, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So. You're doing it, and I want to get into 2 Up 2 Down, the project. I also want to talk about. I want to stick into the music from an industry standpoint. I'm curious about your influences. I'm curious about your views on Kanye. I'm curious.
Hi, we here. Good. Yeah, have you heard the album yet?
Yes, I've listened to it. Let me say this: I've listened to the album.
Yeah, okay.
But I need to like live with it though.
Live with it.
It just came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm very careful. I'm very careful with like, my views on music early. It takes me a few months, truthfully. But have I listened to it? Yeah, I've listened to it all the way through. And my favorite song, I don't know. I got a couple. I don't know. I got a couple. I definitely like Leave Me. And I don't know. There's one song that you're rapping more.
Weapon or 84.
That might be it. I'm gonna tell you what I did. To be fully transparent. I listened to the album and then I went back to listen to all your old music.
Okay. Yeah.
because you're new to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back. When I say I went to YouTube and I listened to everything, I listened to every single thing that I could find from you as a 3-4-year-old kid all the way through. And because I wanted to see the journey, because I thought I didn't feel like I could fully appreciate this project if I didn't go back. So
that's love. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Your YouTube has definitely got several views from me this week, but 2 Up, 2 Down. Why did you choose to name it that?
Yeah. So I think for me, right before I started working on this album, I reached a lot of the things, like a lot of the goals that I said I was gonna reach. So you know how you like make like vision boards and all that stuff in the beginning of the year. Me and my family been doing that since I was a jit. So I remember I was looking at them boards and stuff like that, and I was like, man, like I got a double award, like I got songs on Billboard, like I got all these things. I definitely was like, I'm not at the place where I want to be, but I got a lot of the goals that I wanted to achieve, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, at that moment, I was kind of like, okay, where do I kind of go from here? Because I can either be stagnant or I can continue to grow. And so I think it took me remembering where I came from, and remembering who I am to keep going. Because it's like my family is my why. Like my pops, my moms, like they've made so many sacrifices just for my career from a jit to now. It's like I can't even be able to repay them. Like I said a line in '84 of like, even if I give my pops like 10 mil, like it still probably wouldn't even be enough. And so I think once that kind of like clicked in my brain, I was like, man, yeah, like I gotta keep going. I'm not even close to, you know what I'm saying, where I'm gonna be. I'm not even close to like putting my family in position where, you know what I'm saying, I want them to be in. And so that started from VA. Like that started from me being in Virginia. I went to Virginia high school. So it's like, we rep Virginia hard because we had the, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know Bristol, Virginia, you have Bristol, Virginia, you have Bristol, Tennessee. So it's like, we was rivals. So it's like, you had Tennessee high school, you had Virginia high school. And so we rep Virginia hard all the time. And I would go on the road or whatever, but I always came back to Virginia. And I can tell then, like I was just kind of inspiring people, but they still, because I wasn't where I'm at and because I didn't make it out the city yet, they still was kind of like iffy, like is he gonna make it? But just the fact of me doing what I was doing at that time, I could still see I was inspiring people. So yeah, like now it's just crazy. Like when I go back home, I talk to the people I went to high school with. It's like, man, like this inspired me to do this inspired me to do that. And sometimes you don't even know like who you touch, like when you're doing stuff. And so yeah, that's probably why I named it 2 Up, 2 Down. It's like I remembered where I came from, and that's what helped me keep going. And so with this album, I want people to do that. I want people to remember where they came from, because it gets hard, you know what I'm saying? Like when you on the journey to fulfilling out your purpose and fulfilling out where, you know what I'm saying, God's called you to be on this earth, like it gets hard and you want to quit. It feels like to the world that you're losing when God's plan is in motion the whole time. So it's like, I just wanted people to get that message from the whole album. Like, man, remember where you came from so you can keep going and keep on the journey.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, this kid was New Artist of the Year in 2019 at the Dove Awards. Seems like a pretty major accomplishment.
Yeah.
But I want you to speak to that. But before you do, 2-part question. I expect you to say Virginia, but with Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee, because I don't really remember. Because I was just a college student there at the time. But like, which one's more dominant? Truthfully, like, is one bigger? Is one side bigger than the other?
Bristol, Tennessee is definitely bigger than Bristol, Virginia.
It is.
Yeah. It's like Bristol, Tennessee. The Tennessee high school is like a 4A school. Like I don't even know what we are. Like we always got killed by Tennessee, but we always had pride. We got killed by Tennessee high school. Like we beat them like one time, and my whole time being in high school, and we went stupid when we beat them. So
yeah,
they definitely big. As far as the Doves question, Yeah, that was huge for that moment. Because
2019 new artist of the year.
yeah,
I mean, I want to make sure you guys check the accolades here. You know, a lot of you artists are, you know, a lot of artists in the secular world of music. You talking, you want to meet the freshman class. Was it the Source?
yeah.
No, like he was Rapzilla's freshman class. That's the same thing basically in
Right,
Christian hip hop music, right? Essence
right.
Magazine, Dove Awards. Like, I mean, you probably wrote it on your, I don't know if you wrote it on your vision board or not. I'm sure you wrote on your vision board that you want to be signed and all those
Yeah,
things.
all that. Mm-hmm.
Like talk about that. Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So yeah, I still like my pops be still sending me stuff today because like I didn't know who Toby was at the time. Like, cause I grew up on Kirk, I grew up on Fred, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on that. And so TobyMac, I didn't know who he was, but my pops did. And so my pops was just putting him on like the vision boards. Like he was putting TobyMac on the vision board. So for that to come true, that John was crazy. But with the dub, we had the dub on there. We had all that on there. And it's wild. Like when you see that stuff come into fruition, like it's like, bro, what? But yeah, it was the double award was huge because if you don't know how the double award works, like so the double awards are like the Christian Grammys. So they definitely have like the gospel Christian like thing for the Grammys, like they have that category. But it's not, you know what I'm saying, as big as the dove is for Christian, you know what I'm saying, music. Mm-hmm. And so with that though, you have two sets of awards. So you have the Dove Awards and you have the Stellar Awards. So the Stellar Awards, I hate to say it, they use it for gospel and Christian, but it's really black and white. So the Stellar Awards are really like more black people, which they call the Gospel Awards. You know what I'm saying? The Dove Awards is really more of the white people. They show love to like Christian hip hop, they show love to gospel. But for years, that's what it's been. You know what I'm saying? I think it's moving towards a direction where it's not going to be that. I hope so. I'm praying for that. But that's kind of what it's been. And so no one in that category, new artist of the year, no hip hop artist has ever won that award.
Wow. So history there.
Yeah. So like everybody that I was in like contest with was like all of them were like Christian artists, so like worship singers, all that stuff. And then one was a gospel artist that I knew. But everyone else was just kind of like, everyone in the zone was not expecting me to win. Like the only ones that was my team, you know what I'm saying? Because that year was a big year for me. And we just felt like, man, it's like no one kind of had a better year than me. Like, like in that year, like I felt like no one had a better year than me. I was starting to build like my fan base and all that stuff in that year. It was getting crazy. But everyone in the John did not believe that because like history, it's like
talk a little bit about that. So I mean, you signed to TobyMac, and I mean, talk about a little bit about how your career, like the difference between, you know, having 6 successful independent projects,
right
now signing to a label. And as you talk about that, I also want you to answer, like, when I think about Nashville, I think about country music, but is Nashville a place for gospel music? Is that something? I don't know.
It's just a place for music, period. I feel like it's a lot of music out here.
Is hip hop music in Nashville though, for real?
Yeah. It's out here. Yeah. It's out here.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, it's definitely out in Nashville. It's like underground scene, but it's out here for sure. Yeah, as far as signing, it was crazy. I got signed. So I got signed when I was 15. Toby heard my project with this one of his friends named Chris. He was one of my dad's friends in the city. And Chris had been friends with Toby for years. And like he always would be like, yo, I'm gonna give your stuff to Toby, and like never would. And so we saw him one day and we gave him my project when I was 15. I had like just put it out. He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it to Toby. He was like, whatever. Next day, he was in a car with Toby. Toby heard it and like called us on the spot. And I remember like I said, I didn't really know who he was. And so like I started looking him up and I was just like, yeah, this man is going crazy. But I was just excited of the fact like somebody was interested, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, at that point, like I was just trying to make it. Like I was grinding, just trying to get on. So at that point, a lot of people was, you know what I'm saying, hitting at me, trying to sign me and stuff like that. So to be on that scale, he was probably the biggest one that tried to reach out to me. It was a huge deal.
All right, well, slow down. Now, I'm not trying to be too nosy, but you said huge deal, and I'm not trying to be too nosy to get in your pockets, but I'm looking for you to answer this in a way that it can be somewhat of an example, probably to others. Like, like what is it like? A lot of people are
when I say huge deal, I wasn't saying like huge deal in money wise, because it's not like that.
But what is it like? Tell me, like, give us an example of what a deal is like. Like, is it? I mean, I would imagine it provides the opportunity for distribution and probably marketing and packaging. I mean, like, you don't seem like anyone. Once you get to that place, and your dad already brought you up into music, he had his own music label. It has, if I'm correct. I mean, no one has to, some artists you have to force them in the studio. No one probably has to force you to work.
No.
So just, can you kind of describe what a deal is like? Because some people don't really know what it means.
Yeah. So really a deal is just a bank. You know what I'm saying? That's really all it is. It's a loan that you potentially have to pay back. Like that's really all it is. And they put I'll say this, it's a loan and it's relationship. So that's what the label, I would say, provided me. They provided me a loan. They provided me relationships and just a platform. So like being with Toby, like I got to be in arenas. Like I did like 3 arena tours with him. I did another arena tour with someone else. And that's what opened me up to like building my fan base too. So loan, relationships, and platform. If the label has a platform, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of labels that just has, they just have money or they just have relationships, you know what I'm saying? But I would say from Gotee, I got all 3 of those. And so it's just like you get an advance, whatever that advance may be. At that point, it felt big to me, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that big when you think about what it really is. And then from there, like you just start working. So they honestly put me through an artist development process. They don't really do that anymore with labels. But they put me through an artist development process where I was just going to studios, writing the whole 9. And like you said, like they didn't have to force me to do anything just because my work ethic was just so high. Definitely at that point, I was already doing shows, and so they didn't really have to teach me how to perform or nothing like that. But just far as songs and figuring out how to write different songs and using my voice in different ways, learning about character, like learning about treating the highest person on the tour the same way I would treat the janitor or the same way I would treat a crew person. Like that was a lot of the stuff I was learning in that time. So yeah, like a deal is awesome for people. A deal is terrible for people. It just depends on your situation. There's a lot of people that make it independent because they just put up their own money. They do what they want to do. Some people more flourish in a system, you know what I'm saying, in a situation because they have a bigger songs or they have, you know what I'm saying, songs that they can't get to the places that they need to get to on their own. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You got Toby on this project, and you got J Moss, and there's some other folks. I see Tauren Wells and Parris Chariz. I don't want to be butchering the name. That's because I've seen Parris on other songs with you as well. Yeah. Is Parris is that a friend from you grew up with Parris? It seems like y'all's music have evolved together. It seems like.
Nah. So honestly, Parris is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's just kind of like another artist in the space of what we kind of call Christian hip hop. And we just kind of connected in a way. And he honestly helped me like put together the whole album, like just because like we meshed so well. Like I went out and I worked with him, and from the jump, like I have a way that I work and he has a way that he works. And so mushing that together, like was just like crazy, which is what two up, two down is. And so I think that's just where our relationship started. Like it started to be like a real like brotherhood to where we was, you know what I'm saying? We we brothers, like for real, like we fight, we argue, whatever, but it's still love at the same day. So during the whole process, like it was ups, downs, us figuring stuff out, me wanting to do certain stuff, him not wanting to do certain stuff, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that's how our relationship kind of started. It started a little bit before that. We kind of got started getting cool, and I really just was going out there to chill with him. I was playing him some songs, and we was like, man, like let's just work. And so we started working, and he like helped me with the whole album with his cousin Matthew Crockett. And it was new for me because I'm usually the person that's like, man, I want to do everything on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to work with nobody unless it's the producer. I don't want nobody else in a room. Everybody get out. But man, this album I learned about collaborating, and collaborating is great, man. Like for music, because it's like you might have an idea, but somebody can take that idea to the next level. And ultimately, it's like it's about making the best music. So I think that's what I learned with this album, and that started with P and Matt. So yeah, I got P, I got Kenyon Dixon on the album. Kenyon is a background singer for JT, Justin Timberlake, Brandy, whole nine. And I just met him from his own music. His own music is fire. He just put out a crazy album called Expectations. But I think all of my features from the jump, it's never been like a feature where it's just like, all right, I just did this transactionally, like as far as like people on my stuff. Like if you on my stuff, like I think everybody that was on my album, I invited to my wedding kind of thing. Like, and if
were you guys in the studio together, or was you sending music back and forth?
So Parris, we was in the studio together. Toby, we was in the studio together. But it was like half because I was making it during the pandemic too. So like J Moss was in Detroit, like, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of older, so I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, mess up anything there. He kind of sent his vocals. I think Kenyon sent his vocals. So it was just kind of a mix of both. But like I said, all of them are like I have relationships with, and that's just how I like working. You know what I'm saying?
Looks like you're doing some legendary things here. I don't want to say the number because I don't want to. I may have misinterpreted, but it seems like the project's doing very well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, did I see a streaming number that started with a 3?
Yeah,
that's 3 million.
Yeah, 3.6.
3.6 million streams in less than a week.
Yeah, it was like a couple days.
I'm like, I mean, I don't think y'all understand. Like 3.6 million. I mean, like, yeah, it seems crazy. I mean, like,
crazy. Nah, it's crazy. Because my first, you know what I'm saying? My first.
How? I'm curious, like, how?
Yeah. So my first debut John got 500,000 the first week or whatever. And so yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's just the growth. Like, I think people really tapped in. Like I definitely dropped some single before and stuff like that, but people just really tapped into the movement. And I think I finally found like my sound, and I feel like people are starting to tap in with that. Because if you listen through my whole thing, there was a point in time where I was figuring out the radio stuff, like the pop stuff, using my singing, but also using my bars, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like at that time, 17, 18, like it kind of felt disconnected. It was like my singing stuff was over here, my pop stuff was over here, my rap stuff was over here.
Yeah, you brought it together.
Like this album feels like it's coming together, and I feel like everybody that's kind of like been with me from the jump, and also like finding new people that just rock with the sound that I'm making, is just like all coming together. It's like it felt like it all came together with this album. So
probably it's maturity though. You know, one of my favorite artists says it's like, you know, just giving your music tender love and care. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on it, taking your time. Artists today are so inclined to just microwave music and put it out. You know, you're a professional. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you collaborated with people who probably helped contribute some patience and just some fine tuning with things. But it's like I said, I've been describing you to folks that I'm trying to put on, you know, like it's Drake-ish to me. It is, you know, it's like Drake sings and raps on the same song. And
Yeah.
and you know if you know, but the way he does it at times, it's like two people. It's really one, you know.
Yeah.
And so no, it's special. 3.6 million streams in less than a week. Am I correct? I'm right with that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is like crazy to me, man. And the checks are coming in. Checks are coming in. So y'all, this is Aaron Cole. He's out of here. He's gone. I mean, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, young man. Like I'm really proud of. I'm proud of anybody who sets goals, achieves them, knocks them down. And I think, I mean, tell you what, man, I got some stuff for me. Okay, I got some stuff for me. I'm not really a person. I don't try to be anybody's mentor, coach, big brother, anything. I'm a husband and I'm a father, and I got a lot of roles that I play in life. But the one thing that I long to be a better Christian. I do, and I hope we all do. But I never really feel great about myself. And when you see someone like yourself who's achieving the success that you're achieving, particularly, you know, with having God at the forefront of it, you deserve every blessing that you receive. You know what I'm saying? You put the work in. Your parents put the work in. And I think that this is just basically reaping, you know, you're reaping the fruits of the labor. You know, I listened to your music. You talked about your dad and you going around in the van. You know, I've listened to you talk about, you know, growing up, your dad had a studio in the apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like things weren't always easy. You know what I'm saying? But look at where you at right now. Look at what you're doing, man. I know Bristol is proud of you. And it's just a beautiful thing. It really is, man. It's really
appreciate that, man. Because I like, even though what you were saying before, like, man, I ain't do everything right. You know what I'm saying? Like I made mistakes. Like I make mistakes daily. Like I think that's the beauty of like who God is. Like I feel like every other, and I really low key hate calling Christianity a religion, but I feel like every other religion like tells you have to be good enough to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not what God is. Like God is like, man, nah, come to me broken. You know what I'm saying? Come to me with your mess, come to me with your flaws, and like let me help you and let me guide you through that. And so that's what he did with my life, bro. Like we came from nothing. Like we said, like we was in a apartment, you know what I'm saying, just using what we had. And God bless that. So I would say anybody that's like just want to do whatever it is, if it's music, if it's, you know what I'm saying, if it's school, if it's doctor, lawyer, whatever, it's like, man, use what you got, stay tapped into God, like let him do the rest for real.
Yeah, man. You think you'll be in someone's pulpit one day?
Man, nah, I'm not trying to be. But everybody in my family that said that they wasn't is. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to not say that I'm not.
Yeah.
I think my pulpit is the stage. It's like,
yeah,
when I'm on there, it's like I'll be speaking into people's lives, like the people that listen to me, like, you know what I'm saying, I'll be speaking to their lives. So I'm not trying to be a preacher or a pastor, though. No.
Sure. Let's transition a little bit. I'm really curious because I'm curious of your perspective on Kanye West. When Kanye first came out, like I was a fan of Kanye. College Dropout, I was a fan of Kanye. And I still like Kanye, but and when you come to Richmond, I got an artist that I want to. There's a producer that I want to introduce you to. He's really dope too.
With that,
I definitely want to introduce you to him. In his music he strictly does gospel hip hop music as well. And I'm gonna reference this comment that he made one day because, like, I guess as Christians, as believers of God, like, you know, like we got to be careful not to be judgmental. But we're human. We're human, right? You know, it's natural. Like, you know, I don't know what Kanye's doing. Like, one day he said, you know, I like Kanye. This is his comment. I like Kanye's music, but I feel like it's missing anointment. And I was like, dang.
Correct.
And I was like, And then now we got a new project out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I'm not really into it. Like, just not into it, man. Just not into it. Like, just curious, like, are you I would imagine you probably had some inspiration from Kanye at once upon a time, but like, are you rocking with this new Kanye music?
I would personally say, yeah. Like
I'm personally gonna ask you why. Like, what is it? What makes it special? Because to me, he's just so attention seeking right now. I feel like the music is not where it was.
So I honestly, I feel the opposite. Like, I feel like he really had a life change. And I think he's trying to figure it out. So if you listen to Jesus is King, right? The first joint he put out after, you know what I'm saying, he gave his life to God or whatever. It's very churchy. Like, I would probably never even do an album like Jesus is King. Like, that's very churchy. It's very like gospel-y, whatever. And that tends to be what happened when you first like come to God. Like, you first come to God, like, you just on fire. I think he was trying to figure out, okay, like, what can I do? Like, what can I, you know what I'm saying? What can I say? What type of songs can I make? And I think with Donda, you know what I'm saying, he's still trying. So he's on the other side of like, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? He's just trying different stuff out. And so I think he's going to find a pocket where kind of like where I am of like those people that was rocking with him before are still going to rock with him, but he's still going to be on his, you know what I'm saying? He's still going to be a Christian artist per se, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know the man, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying from afar, it feels like he really trying to live for God. Like, it feels like that.
I mean, I feel like he's clearly went through some things. It's been in the public. It's apparent that he's went through some things. Yeah. But I
feel you though. Like, I feel why you don't like it though.
Yeah, like, I'm not. I think what happens is this.
If you listen to the college dropout, if you listen to late registration, graduation,
I want gospel music. He can do gospel music with that type of swag, those type of. What happened?
But his brain is not there yet. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. I think he's like, he can do that, but he's like trying to figure out, can I do that?
I think he lost it, man. I think he lost it. Look, let me tell you why. So look, Hove is my favorite artist all time, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I get in these conversations with people about Hove, and it's like, it didn't matter what. One of Hove's best albums is my least favorite, and that was the Volume 3 album, because Big Pimpin', that's going back to like 03. It's like when you was a kid. But like, I hated that song, but that was one of the most popular Hove songs because it crossed culture. Because the people in Southwest Virginia, East Tennessee was big pimping, spending G's, you know.
Yeah,
they could relate. They could relate to Nelly, country grammar, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it made it a big song. But outside of that, like, I don't care. To me, it seems like regardless of what era Hove is making music, even to this day, he still makes it at the highest level. I feel like the Magna Carta. I feel like the 444. I feel like everything Hove is like, even though he may not be talking the same things, I don't feel like he should. Because now I look at Kanye the same way. If Kanye is, you know, changed and, proud of you, that's great. You're supposed to change, right?
Right.
But you ain't rapping like you was.
Yeah, but
it's just it's like a ball player. Like, it's like, look, Carmelo.
Yeah.
You trash now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just ain't balling like you was.
Carmelo is not trash now.
You know what I'm saying, though.
He's going crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Nah, I feel you. I think
he's a shell of himself. He just ain't what he used to be.
Yeah, he's not what he used to be, but he's still hooping. You going crazy.
Yeah, but Kanye, you see me you see what I'm saying?
So yeah, I see what you mean by that. But I think even the difference between Jay and a Kanye, like, Kanye made a different type of, you know what I'm saying, life transition. Like, Jay just grew up and is like, he's not talking about the money anymore. If he's talking about money, he's talking about how to invest. He's talking about how to whatever. So that's just maturing. Like, you're just gonna do that regardless. Like, that's a natural change. Like, Kanye really like gave his life to God.
But Jay can still ride a beat though.
Yeah, Kanye can still ride a beat. You're going crazy. The one with the Lauryn Hill sample is stupid. That just go crazy. You need something unexpected. He was going crazy.
I like that song with him and Andre 3000 that didn't get released. That's one of my favorite.
Right? So that means I show you he's still, and I was after, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you don't know where it's gonna go. I just feel like he's trying to figure it out. And Kanye is a more art, like he's a more of artistic artist than Jay-Z is, for sure. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
so it's like he's gonna try certain stuff that Jay-Z can never try.
So who you like better, Kanye or Drake?
Oh, I'm a Drake fan. So I definitely like Drake.
You like Drake? You like Drake's new project?
I think it's cool.
Mhm.
I think it's cool.
So let me before you answer that, let me better phrase that question.
Yeah.
Because there's these perceptions that Christian hip hop artists can't listen to secular music.
Yeah.
Do you listen? Do you listen to all music?
I listen to everything.
Okay.
I listen to everything. Only thing I don't really, and I won't even say I don't really rock with, but I just don't. You don't find me listening to it in the car. It's like rock, like unless it's the Linus Park Jay-Z album. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really listening to rock, but like country. I find myself listening to a couple country songs. You know what I'm saying? Just the stories. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Like I feel like some of that stuff is hard. Yeah, don't quiz me on that stuff, but like I didn't even listen to it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it's different for me because I think about it this way. If you're a math teacher, right? Like you're not gonna just look at and you're a Christian math teacher, say you're a Christian math teacher, you're not just gonna look at a Christian math book. Like they don't even make them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna look at every math book so you can help, you know what I'm saying, your students. So for me, it's like I'm an artist. I'm a listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to everything. Now, if you feel like, if I'm listening to this, it does something to my spirit, that's not it, like do it. Like don't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely stuff that I listen to. I'm like, man, I'm not rocking with that, whatever. It make me feel away or whatever. But as far as me, I'm just like, man, I enjoy good music. So I listen to everything from old school, new school, whatever. My favorite artist, Music Soul Child, no cap. Yeah,
that's my favorite R&B artist for sure. You got some old, what do they call it? You got old soul to some degree.
Yeah, for sure.
As we close off the album, we're gonna wrap up here in about 10 minutes. I gotta say, I gotta ask you, like, how did you go about getting with J Moss?
Yeah. All right, so boom, I'm telling you the story from start to finish. That joint was crazy. So I was shooting a video, Water for Me. I don't know if you heard that song. That's with Parris too, not Clyde, who are both going on tour with me. So if you ain't got your tickets for tour, go get tickets for tour. But I was shooting that video and we get back to the Airbnb. I'm chilling. It's like 1, 2 in the morning. And I just randomly get a notification, like inside J Moss says commenting on your stuff. Like he followed me the whole 9. Excuse me. He followed me the whole 9, commenting on my stuff. And I was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, what's going on? Like it was an out of body experience. And I just remember he was just commenting like, man, rocking with what you do, like keep it going. So I DM'd him like, man, you can't just hop in my comments like that. Who you are, like I didn't grow up on you and not say what's up, like, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, whatever. So we started chopping up a little bit and we just kind of, you know what I'm saying, stay in touch. Like we stayed in touch. When I got the song for, like I had got Leave Me, we had been talking for like months, like just chopping it up about life, whatever. And so I got the song, I was like, man, no, I think I kind of tested the waters because I didn't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he just hit me up and I asked him for a song. So I think somebody asked me on my Instagram, like, oh, who you trying to work with? And I just, you know what I'm saying? I named a couple people and I put him in there and he just responded back to the thing like, man, I'm ready when you are. I was like, oh, say less. So boom. So I got the song and we just talked on the song. We just talked on FaceTime for like 30, 40 minutes before we even talked about the song. I was just telling him like, man, I grew up on your first album and that's one of the best gospel albums ever, whatever. And yeah, he was just down with it, man. When we did the video, he was just telling me like, because I really have a vision for all my
Where did you shoot the video at?
Nashville. We started in Nashville.
Okay.
It was the best, you know what I'm saying, area for it all. But
Mhm.
yeah, so when we were shooting the video, he was like, I really have a vision for all of my stuff. So there's a lot of artists that just be like, if they get a feature, like, man, just do your thing on it, like do whatever. But I kind of don't do that. Like I'll be like, yo, I want you to do this here, you know what I'm saying? Turn up here, but like kind of dial back here. And, he was just telling me how he appreciated that. And I thought that was dope. Like Jay Moss then came up, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of people, a lot of gospel artist projects and stuff like that. So he was just like, he was telling me how he appreciated that. Like I had a actual vision for him. Cause if you listen to the record, like there's parts where he turned up where I wanted him to turn up and he went stupid. He went a little too crazy. I was like, man, you got me re-record my vocals. But then it was like other times where he was just like chilling in the back. So yeah, it was all intentional. So yeah, that's how it happened. That's my boy. Like when he came and did the video, like we chopped it up, broke bread with PDA, my pops, and yeah, it's dope. Like I said, I make connection with the people I do work with. So it's awesome. That's the big bro for sure.
That's great, man. That's great, man. But dang, we closing up here. Just curious, man, from a family standpoint, where is Kendall and Chet at now?
So Kendall
was in Hampton for a long time. I don't know if he's still.
No. So Kendall is like a professor at VT, Virginia Tech. Chat is a campus pastor at Elevation Church in Charlotte.
That's home for me. I thought he was there. I see him in all the social media stuff there. I got some friends that attend that church. So
okay, that's what's up. Yeah,
he's a part of the pastoral team.
Yeah. So he's a campus pastor. So they have like multiple campuses like around Charlotte, and he runs one of the campuses or whatever.
I'm telling you, that's an example of change. Like I don't know if I ever would have saw Chetwynd as a pastor.
Crazy, right?
I don't know if I would have saw that happen.
He's the main one that's like he's like, I'm never gonna be a pastor. Like, nah, like, I'm not with that. He a pastor. That's why I don't be trying to say I'm not gonna be a pastor, like because I just don't want to be a pastor. So I'm trying to stay cool. But yeah, so like I was saying earlier in the John, like I remember Chat was the uncle that I looked to when I was mimicking his verses and stuff like that when I was 3. And so he was the one that helped me write, you know what I'm saying, figure out my raps, all that stuff. And then so Kendall had moved away already. He was in Hampton. And my granddad was the pastor of this church, and my whole family was like the praise team, because like my whole family sings. And I remember I wasn't a part, so because nobody was like, I didn't even know I could sing at the time. So Chat, he was singing this song, I Will Bless the Lord by Byron Cage. And it got to the point where he like Byron usually turn up, and Chat didn't turn up. He said the wrong lyrics and all kinds of stuff. And so like I just called him out on it, and I was just like, man, you be saying the wrong lyrics on that John. He was like, man, next time I'm gonna call you up. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do that. And so no cap, next Sunday when he sung that song, he called me up and I sung it, like, and everybody was just shocked. And so they put me in part of the praise team. Like I started learning more how to sing. Like I could honestly sing just because it ran in my blood. I just found out then. Getting better, like developing my voice. And I remember Kendall came back home one time and I led that song, and Kendall was going stupid. Like because Kendall a singer. Like he like, you know what I'm saying, that's his vibe. Like he put me on the Brandy, all that stuff. And so yeah, Kendall was the one that like was really nurturing that as far as singing and, you know what I'm saying, just really tapping into that musical side. Because before that, if it wasn't for Kendall, like I would really just be a hip hop artist that kind of sing. But like Kendall was like, wow, like you gonna sing, like you gonna sing. So
that's great, man. Yeah. That's great. What's the rest of the what's this media run gonna look like for you? What all you got coming up?
Man, I really just got a bunch of different. I want to get tapped into like a bunch of different podcasts, because I love podcasts. I just don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't really have a lot of connections with it. So other than that, it's just really interviews with like, you know what I'm saying, media stations and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really it. Like I'm trying to get in where I fit in, like just trying to get as many interviews as I can, because I feel like there's certain markets that I ain't even tapped into yet that I'm trying to. So
Well, if any way that we can be supportive, definitely let us know.
man, I need to pack out this Richmond date. I ain't gonna cap. VIP about to sell out, so y'all better get y'all tickets on God.
Yeah, hey, we'll definitely we'll release this within a week's time. We'll start pushing clips out very soon across Richmond. We'll make sure that we let people know. Let's definitely make sure we touch base when you
So
get to the city. Are you gonna be here for a couple of days, or are you just in and out?
man, I think I'm in and out. I get there on the day, but we definitely need to tap in. I'm gonna get you that media pass and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I got, like I said, and I definitely can help connect you with other media folks in the area, radio, whatever the case is, man. If they don't know, they need to know. And I mean, listen, 3.6 million people know. So I don't think it's gonna be that hard, man. Make sure you let Bristol know, let Nashville know that Randy Wilson Podcast is the #1 podcast bringing hip hop culture and intellectual content. 2 up, 2 down. We in Bristol. First interview I've done with anybody Southwest Virginia ever on the podcast. So couldn't have been a better person, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Man, appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, listen, make sure I hit that subscribe button. Before we go, let them know where they can follow you at.
Man, I'm everything. I am Aaron Cole. So that's IAMAARONCOLE on Instagram, Twitter, the whole nine. So.
And I am Randy Wilson with the Randy Wilson Podcast. You can follow me everywhere podcasts are played. You can also go check me out at randywilsonpodcast.com. And we are out.